a comment into the chat box, because Debbie Davis is also online and she can help facilitate any problems that we have. Okay, excellent. Let's start now. So thanks very much for joining the webinar. I think you can all see my screen, so let's go to the first slide. Okay, so we're currently in the process of releasing Calm version 10. And we've been through the RFE cycle that everyone is familiar with using. As ever, there are a number of agreed RFEs that we agree to do and we put into the product. There are a number which we tend to park for further discussion where there's more information required. And of course there are those we have to reject for technical, functional or some other reason. The process includes internal change requests that Axiell have to make. So there's some things in there that you might not be expecting, but they have to be done as part of the product development. We're not totally perfect, and we do occasionally have bugs and anomalies in our software, and we fix those on a regular basis, and they're included in the release as well. And we're hoping that this time we can include a list of the key issues that have been fixed and resolved so people know what's been added to the system. Now, you will recall that earlier this year in March, April, we ran a number of customer functional review workshops. That was really... Somebody else has joined, thank you. That was really to give us if you like, a clear slate to look at how people wanted to evolve and change Calm going forward, with the intention of a discussion on some of the areas that perhaps Calm didn't currently deal with. And they're the sort of things that tend to get put into the further discussion involved with RFEs. Now that process was slightly affected by the acquisition of Axiell by Adlib, because those who have been following discussions on the Calm list and the various communication channels, plus the recent meeting in London between the Calm and Adlib and some members of those user groups, we're aware that we're actually developing a new product based on the respective strengths of both Calm and Adlib. So a lot of the stuff I think that we wanted to do as part of evolving Calm is actually going to be part of this new product development. It's an exciting thing we're working on, and there'll be more information filtering out through the course of 2014. So I guess what I'm partly doing is apologising for maybe the delay in actually releasing version 10 to where we are now, but it has been influenced by the work we're doing post-Adlib acquisition. Okay. So in terms of the actual release of the software, it'll be before the end of November, so in the next week or so, available as a download from the Axiell support sites. There'll be all applications and all modules, that includes OAI, the API, everything except dserv. As announced the list recently, dserv is not compatible with version 10, and therefore there will not be a release of dserv within the version 10 release schedule. It is the last full release of Calm before the new product release, and those who've been following the discussions will know that's scheduled as first release in Q4 next year. Now there'll be lots of updates, progress reports during the course of 2014, but that is the current schedule for the first release of the new product. However, there will still be bug fixes, maintenance and minor improvements or changes to Calm, as it will remain supported for a further 5 years. So customers have the opportunity to either move straight away to new product, do it gradually, or to carry on using Calm for that continued supported period. The choice is entirely up to the customers. Okay, and we can obviously deal with that as it gets closer to new product release. Alongside the software release, we are issuing an online customer survey, which we'd like to invite all customers to contribute to. I just think Caroline's got Caroline, is your sound problem resolved? Are you still okay? I noticed that box popped up about sound problems. Let's hope we're okay. 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 There'll be a customer survey to coincide with the release of the software, which we'd like to encourage all customers to contribute to and complete. It's partly a customer relationship management issue with trying to update our details of current contacts and product use. But it's also an extension of that to get a feel for the key features that are used by customers to help us influence the new product development. So look forward to getting your feedback and response from that. Okay. So let's go into the what's new process now. Now there will be a what's new document released with version 10 that explains the changes and the additions within version 10. What I'm going to do today is show you one or two of the main features that are included in the next release. Okay, and the first thing you can see there is an upgrade utility. Okay there? The first thing you see there is a Calm upgrade utility box. Now, when you install version 10, it's very important that you follow the upgrade utility process. As you can see from there, it's a one-way process. Once you upgrade it to version 10, you cannot go back with the data set you currently have. So please make sure you have a backed up copy of the data before the upgrade process. A lot of distortion on the speaker just now. I'm not sure. The next thing is we've added support for Unicode. This has been on a wish list for customers for a number of years, and we've added that functionality within Calm. I'm just going to start up Calm just now and show you a couple of examples of that data support. If I go to the catalog menu, which you can see on the screen just now, and I search for a record, you can see on the screen there is a brief Calm record. There is a large descriptive field with English language and a second descriptive field with Hebrew text, which obviously in previous versions of Calm would appear as random assorted characters. So that data is now indexed within Calm, and if I take an example snapshot of that text and I then search for that data within Calm, you can see the highlight hit is picking that text up. So it's storing, it's searching, it's retrieving data in Hebrew. As another example, I can show you a record with some Greek in there. So I pop this record on the screen, manuscript of the Agamemnon. You'll notice there's some descriptive text in Greek. At the bottom, related material, there is the English translation. And again, I can take some of that text, I can search for that within the Calm database, description for example, and it finds that data highlighted in the field. So this is allowing people to work with sort of what we call non-Western code page text. So it's an addition, an improvement in Calm, and we hope that customers now can take benefit from that particular piece of functionality. Okay, just a couple of brief examples there for you to look at. We've also added, so I'm just noticing Caroline's on the phone. Sorry, can you hear us okay, Caroline? Okay. Okay, the next we've done is added a new security model into Calm. And I'm just going to open that up for you now and show you how that works. If I just start up Calm. Now, those who have used security within Calm before have probably used it either within the admin module or have used the security database within the Calm product itself. What we've done is we've taken the Calm database security and put it into a easy user interface within the admin module. So if I start up the Calm admin module and pull that onto the screen for you, you'll recognize the standard Calm admin module. If I then go into the security option, I've now got a number of new tabs within security. So first of all, I have the option to enable or disable security. So for example, I may set security, but choose to disable it for a reason or a period. I uncheck that tick box there, security is temporarily switched off. There's a number of authentication models that Calm can use to authenticate the login. That can be based around Active Directory settings, I'm not going to get involved in that just now, but it's obviously there's some technical support required to make sure that's working as appropriate. There's also a failed login lockout, and what this allows you to do is set a incrementing time period against which people are locked out if they try to log in unsuccessfully more than 3 times. It's an incrementing period up to an hour. You can also log all failed logins as well, so that's quite a useful feature as well. There are various groups of users, which is a part of the legacy of the old admin security, and you can define different privileges for the access rights for those groups of users. You'll also notice there is a roles button on that box. If I click on the roles, this takes you into what was historically the Calm security database within Calm. And I can use this to set database permissions or to set menu options, for example, in a nice, clear, intuitive way. So you can see, for example, in a regular user, I have removed some of the menu options from the screen, as an example. Okay. You can also create a list of users within the system, and if you set security, the user has to exist. Now you'll notice the first one there is actually the domain name and Windows login name on this particular machine. So what you can also do is authenticate your Calm user login against your network login directories. I'm not going into that process just now, but it allows you to authenticate users against either your Windows login or stay within the Calm application, as used to happen with version 9. There is also a range of file log options to log activity, searching, editing, failed logins, etc., and to export that data too. So what we tried to do is try and make the ability to set security clearer and tighter within the admin module. But if you set security, then you have to go through that process. And there's some things in Calm that will require that security is set. And one is the historic administrator rights in Calm, which I'll come to in a moment in the application. Okay? So I can set security quite easily here. Now, you'll notice when I started up Calm myself, there is no user login box. It used to happen with version 9. That's been removed in version 10. So those who are using version 10 as a new fresh install will not have that user box. The security will be based around the authentication that the admin module gives you. For customers who are upgrading from version 9 to version 10, that box will still appear unless they choose to ask Axiell to disable it. And the reason why that is, if I just close this down and make a minor modification to my local Calm system, bear with me a second, I'm just changing a local file here to enable that facility. So now if I log in Calm now, I get that historic login box, logging in as user MKH. And for those who are observant and spotted it, I'd actually disabled some of the menu options from MKH's login in security. So it shows that normally I'd be logging in as myself in Windows, I'd automatically get my Calm security settings based on that Windows login. But if you're using just Calm security, you can use the login box, and again that controls the security here. The key thing though is it is set in the Calm admin module. Okay? I'm just going to remove that because I don't want to use the old login box. And pop that back in there and go back into Calm. Okay, so when I create a new record now within Calm, click any random record, you'll notice down at the bottom the creator name is being picked up from my Windows user login facility. And that works with creator, with modifier, with some of the authorizing fields in the movement module. That's now the login name for this particular Calm session. Okay. Now I expect that we will refine this with further use with it as people start to use the module. But one thing that is required is if you want to use the old administrator rights in Calm, then you have to set a level of security. And the reason for that is that because I'm logged in as an administrator, I have a number of options. I can do record and delete hit list. I also have the option to issue a hit list of item, and I'm also able to run the special scripts, custom scripts we create that allow customers to massage data on a global basis. So there are certain functions available only to someone who's checked as an administrator in the Calm security module. Okay, so let's go into some of the other features in Calm we've added. And I think the first thing is was a bone of contention in version 9, let's say. And we modified the way that the reference number searching worked in order to give people the faster tree generation within Calm. What it did was actually put a two-step process into reference number searching, which some customers found frustrating, or other words which I can't use. But anyway, it was a frustrating experience for customers. So we modified the reference number searching. So we've added, I think, a suitable option for customers to use. If I go into catalog and search, if you recall in version 9, if I search for a reference number, I get one single record appearing on the screen. It's finding an exact match on the reference number. If I search again for the same reference, but this time on the field button, we've added a new option called is in. And if I check that, that essentially replicates the old Calm reference number searching. So now I end up with 4,944 records. So it's replicating the old original search. However, what it also does is it allows you to also search for, series or parts of a collection. So for example, if I search for make/AB/box 2, for example, and click on find, I now have, bad example, there's only one record there. Let's try again. Never change your demonstration, try and be clever. This time, that's like now I'm mistyping. See, I'm no good at searching. Let's try again. I know what it is. I haven't checked the is in button. Make/AB/box 7. There we go. Okay. So this time it's found everything within that particular container, series, sub-series, whatever. So I think the addition of that new button on the reference number field has replaced the flexible searching that reference number used to have, but also still gives you that fast tree generation facility. So that's a very useful addition to the search options. Another feature people talked about was the overview searching, the ability to show a lot more fields in the overview field. At the moment you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 fields in the overview. I can add new fields very easily. Let's just pop some random fields in there. 1, let's try 2. You can see the fields have been added. Let's try that one. So I'm adding lots more fields into the overview. Now, you can now add, there's actually almost an unlimited number of fields really in the overview. I think it's set notionally at 20. What we haven't managed to do yet is to put a horizontal scroll bar in the overview. So if you want to have lots and lots of fields in the overview, it can be quite condensed on the screen. But you can change the order of the fields very easily. But also, because you can print the overview out, you can have quite a complex and detailed print of a list of records using the overview print facility. So anyway, more fields added to the overview capability. Okay. In the multimedia field, people have been using that for images, for sound, audio, video, etc., and using it quite successfully. However, the multimedia field in version 9 didn't support MP4 format files, and that's becoming a bigger issue for customers. So what we've done is, of course, added support for that. So if I search for a sample record here, this one has a MP4 file attached to it. It's actually a demonstrator our colleague Casper in Denmark did as an online demonstration for Calm. So if I start up this MP4 file, opens in Windows Media, it's actually a run-through demonstrator of Calm in Danish. So if you speak Danish, it may mean something to you. To me, it's just lots of buttons on the screen. But again, it's an MP4 file playing linked to a Calm record. Okay, I'll just close that down now. Okay. We've got a number of date parser changes. Those who've used Calm for many years know that the date parser evolves and changes, and it's absolutely key part of our new product development, of course, because it's a key USP of Calm. One thing we've added recently is the unknown attribute. It has the same parameter as the ND or no date facility. So if I go to a record here, for example, and I type some gobbledygook in the date field, as you'd expect, Calm validates and says the data is invalid. If I change that to save the record, it's now a happy date format. And if I search for records with date of ND or no date, it finds that record. So it's an addition to the date parser facility. So again, a useful little extra into Calm. One thing that people have often asked about is the fact that some fields are visible, some are hidden. It all depends on field groupings. And people think there's data on the record, but I can't actually see it. So what we've done now is we've actually removed all the default hidden fields. So at the bottom of this record, you can see I've got the creator, created, modifier, record ID field. So again, it's still possible to hide fields, but generally by default, we're showing all the data on the screen for people to look at. Okay. We've made some changes to the reporting as well, and one of the issues with 9.3 of Calm, we had to change some of the loan functionality to facilitate the document ordering in Calm View. And one of the implications of that was that we stopped copying catalogue record data across to the loan records, which technically is the correct thing to do, but actually from a customer perspective, it meant it was hard for them to produce reports based on usage of catalogue material. So we've added a couple of reports to facilitate some of these processes. So if, for example, I go back into the loans database within Calm and just find all the records in there, what I can now do is I can export all the data based on those loan records, and I can now start to massage that within the output file. I can now start to massage that within the Excel spreadsheet. So I've now got data being pulled from data into a spreadsheet. Actually, that's the wrong file. Apologies for that. What I should be showing you is this one, which gives you all the dates and times of the data that's been in the system. So it allows you, for example, to start massaging data within Excel. Within the catalogue, you've got 2 new reports in the catalogue database as well. If I search for a Calm reference number and find a record on the screen, I have 2 new reports. I have associated loans and associated conservation. So I might, for example, have a hit list of records that are part of a series, or a whole collection, in fact, and I can run a report against that list of records and find all associated loans for that. So trying to find out which particular series are used most often and whether the collection as a whole is used, you can translate all that into an Excel report of usage of the collection of records in front of you. And all these reports are based around a hit list of records. Just realised I shouldn't have clicked that button, it's going to take a while to run through, but it will get there eventually. So please look at the screen while I talk desperately. Let's just see if that report's being run now. Okay, archive loan usage. So here we have all the linked loan data for that particular catalogue. It's not really clear there in the text file. Basically, it's all the date loan periods for that particular record. Also, we can find out the report on the complete conservation process for a list of records. So again, how much work, how much money has been spent on conservation of a particular collection or a particular series. And again, that data gets pulled into an output file, which again can be massaged within Excel. Now I have 1 record here, but that could be 10, 20, 30, 100 records. So again, facilitating the reporting of data across databases, if you like. And there's a few more reports being popped into Calm as well. Just briefly on records management, the records management RFEs, there haven't been as many done within Calm version 10 as we'd have liked, but we have one that I think is quite important for our customers of records, and that is to second, I'm trying to start the application. 1 second. Close Calm ALM down, and let's open up Calm Records Management. Now, within the loans facility within Records Management, we have a number of automatic filters applied to the database because there tends to be quite a large amount of data in this particular database within the application. So you can filter by historic loans, loans that are currently overdue, loans that are current, but now also a complete activity of all loans in the system. Previously, you could only access these by historic, because that actually filters all the time by historic loan. There's now an all loan facility added, so you can access the entire loans database within the system. Beyond that, a lot of the standard back-end database functions that have been improved and added apply to records management as well.
I'm listening to a webinar now from Cloud Management System.
In terms of documentation, we've tried to unify the documentation and also been asked to produce a list of all those custom scripts which are also now available. And if I just pop into so first of all, you'll recognize this page. This is the standard portal for Axiell Calm documentation. And this is where everything appears. And of course, there's a link to the current ALM user manual. Now that's currently version 9.3, but we've been working to update the manual to coincide with the release of version 10. And if I pop up the offline copy of that, again, it's familiar and look and feel familiar to 9.3, but under the main Calm administration, there's now a run script section, and this gives you details of all the scripts we currently make available to customers, what the implications are, what to do with any questions, queries. It's all based around this page within the manual. And as I said earlier on, you have to administrate a right within Calm to run those particular scripts. So as we said before, we're quite happy to have a number of scripts that allow people to massage and do things to data, but they have to be run with all those qualifiers put into place as well. So that's a facility, that's part of the version 10 documentation. In terms of CalmView, there will be a CalmView release to coincide with version 10, CalmView 2.2. There's a couple of features, some back-end, some front-end that you should be able to take advantage of. One of our customers is RNIB, who use Calm both in the archive and in the special library, and they've requested a CalmView site for their Calm data. Now, as you'd expect with RNIB, they have some quite specific rules about accessibility in terms of disability guidelines, in terms of working with screen readers. So we made some changes on the guidance with them to increase some of the accessibility options, so that use of screen readers, for example, will have a better experience. We're quite pleased that actually when they did the initial testing of CalmView, it ticked very, very many of the boxes that were required. So we're very pleased with the out-of-the-box experience of CalmView. But if I just pop up this way, so this is RNIB's default site, familiar to those who know CalmView, of course, but there's some tweaks and changes in there to make it a bit more accessible, particularly for screen readers. In terms of CalmView configuration, a couple of things we've changed as well. The any text search that appears in CalmView, that can now be set from the admin utility in Calm. There's a checkbox where you can check which fields form part of the any text search. So you control completely what the any text options are. In terms of Calm for records management, we've added support for that within the configurator, a records management configurator. Main issue there is that user registration and login are now enabled, so those who use records management are aware of the user groups and the loan groups that exist in that product, and they now allow you to filter and control access to records within the Calm records management CalmView view. Other important issues, other databases in ALM are now available by default. And if I just jump back into here and go to the CalmView configurator, and those who are used to configuring CalmView will recognize this screen. It contains all the things you need to set up CalmView. And those who use CalmView will know that, as well as the catalog, there is the places and the persons database are the ones that are normally used. However, we've added support for our works, roles, and performances data, because some customers who use this module would like to present this data through CalmView as well. So support for those databases have been added, but essentially any database that exists within the Calm application can, if functionally desirable, be added into a Calm view configuration. So the ability to show more data, more types of data, is part of that new Calm view configuration option. I think essentially that's the main sort of change we made for version 10. Again, going back to the first point, it's taken longer to get version 10 out than we'd expected, partly influenced by the AdLib acquisition and therefore the discussion on combining functionality, but also because we had to do some changes to the security module, and that's been a bit of work involved in that as well. But we are where we are now. We have version 10 available in the next few weeks for general release, and we're looking forward to customers using that and getting the benefits of the latest functional release of Calm. So I'm going to stop talking now. Please feel free to ask some questions, or ideally use the chat facility, because everyone can see the chat box. We see the questions being asked, and we can try and deal with those in as clear a way as possible. So I'm going to stop talking now and open the floor to you guys. Are we stunned into silence, as yesterday? Would anyone like to ask any questions? Yes, Jenny's asked about the new product release late 2014. I think I touched on this in the functional review workshops when we announced at the same time the acquisition of AdLib, and I think even at that point we felt that the way forward is, I think I used the expression of the phoenix rising from the ashes and all these sort of things. But essentially, it was the first step away of actually getting a new experience for our customers that brought the best of both products into one. My colleagues who are sitting not 2 feet from me, our development team, are working hard on the back-end infrastructure to the new product, and as part of the next phase, which is early next year, looking at the data schemas, because what's important for both Calm customers and AdLib customers is that all the bits that are important to them and work well for them are preserved and built on in the new system. So one question asked yesterday was, will my database record template flexibility still be possible in the new product? And yes, that's absolutely true, because we have to retain as many of the key functional features that the customers would like. Now, the official announcement on the Calm list and on various websites is that Q4 next year is the first release of the new product. I can't say the second what exactly that will contain, whether it's a full-blown brand new product, whether it's a phased release of some functionality. I honestly don't know the answer to that question just now. But I do know that there was some tentative meetings with a small group of Calm users and AdLib users in London, and Chris Hilton, the chair of the Calm user group, posted the minutes of that meeting on the Calm list just a week or so ago. I think that shows how the two user communities are trying to grow and work together to build a good solid new product for our new combined customer base. So that's where we are just now, but a lot of activity in 2014, and we certainly expect all users to be actively involved if they choose in that process. Okay. I hope that answered the question. Anything else people want to ask just now? I'll wait while people are typing. And one of the things that we would like to, we will ask in the online survey is about versions, which versions people currently use, which modules, which parts of Calm they currently use, but also a feel for intentions to upgrade to version 10 alongside the new product. Bear in mind, of course, that version 10 will still be supported, maintained, improved as required, and we will be supporting Calm for the next 5 years. That's set in stone. Languages that the new functionality won't support. We're restricted to, I don't off the top of my head, a number of different characters that can be mapped. I think it's think it's 65 or 70. For example, some of the languages that have a large number of characters, there's issues with supporting those. But I'm just trying to get some an official statement from my development colleagues. So if I can come back to that question in a moment, I'll get an official written answer from development in a moment. Okay. But going back to that version 10 issue, we would like to get a feel for customers of their intentions to upgrade as we go forward with the new product. And in the words of the best newsman, I can have leaflet passed to me just now. Yeah, there's a maximum of 64 mapped characters. So if I just go into Calm just now and show you an example of how that, just bear with me a second. If you go into Calm just now, this is an older version of Calm. My database isn't indexed against this, but in File and Info, there's a list of indexable characters that are set historically by default in Calm. So you can see there's various mappings to characters. And of course I've added Hebrew and Greek to this. But there's a maximum, if you like, of 64 lines in that list that you can add characters to. Obviously with the new product, that is going to be based around SQL. So SQL by default is fully Unicode UTF-8 compliant. So there's no issues with any characters in the new product. But within Calm version 10, it's restricted to 64, if you like, mapped characters. But I can certainly put more information about that on the customer portals, Calm, LIS, whatever, to make that clearer for people going forward. And in fact, as a point, we'll probably update the What's New document to add more information about the extent to which we cover those Unicode characters. Louise just asked a question about the new release of Calm to be backward compatible or require version 10 upgrade first. So the question is, can you use Calm View 2.2 with Calm version 9? I think of that, because normally we try and keep people in sync. But certainly, yes, version 9 Calm will work with Calm View version 10, if you like. It's the database files in the back end are different, but the front end functionality is the same. So yes, the question is, you can stay on version 9.x of Calm, but upgrade to Calm View 2.2, which comes packaged with the version 10 release. We always try and ask customers to maintain compatibility in products, but again, there's that, we appreciate there's that level of flexibility with users. Any other questions there? I think. And just while people want to feed some more questions too, I'll just talk a bit more about what our plans are post this. We wanted to do these webinars for a while now. There's various reasons why we've been slightly delayed in doing that, but we thought we'd pick a topic that was comfortable and well known, a new release of Calm as an introduction to this. We talked about doing a list of topics. Could be, for example, a Q&A session. People feed in 20 questions before and we respond to them. We could have more discussions around the admin module, look at some of the peripheral products like OEI or API. So certainly, going forward, we intend to make far more use of this webinar webcast facility. The software using just now is GoToMeeting, which we use for some support issues, but also some remote training and some remote product presentation. If we feel there's a take-up and demand for this, we may invest in other software that gives more flexibility in how we choose to interact and present. But without a doubt, it's certainly part of the way forward for our customer interaction. James has asked a question I missed out. Hang on a second. From Caroline. So yes, the new product. Yeah, basically what we're doing is the back end, if you like, the back end technology of the new product is based around the SQL back end that AdLib currently uses. Now we've actually talked for a while about moving Calm from Describe into a SQL back end, or indeed to have comparable parallel products. It was actually one of the tick boxes from the workshops with customers which we were looking at, but of course the acquisition influenced that slightly. So the back-end technology is based around what is currently the historic AdLib technology in the back end. What we're doing, along with AdLib, is developing, if you like, a new interface for this back-end SQL technology. But what it must do is incorporate all the core functions of Calm and all the core functions of AdLib that are critical to both user communities. Now, to be absolutely honest, and we sit in front of user group meetings, the user interface to Calm isn't always a thing that ticks everyone's box highly, and we appreciate the user interface is an issue for us to work on, and we had actually started that process prior to the acquisition. So there'll be a new interface to the product, and we expect that to be one that customers will have influence over. It'll be also a Mac version, there'll be a web client. It's all part of a new generation of product. But so we're starting, if you like, from scratch, but we're building into it the key core aspects of Calm that have been part of the product for years, that are tick boxes for customers, that are USPs, and that help the product to retain that Calm ethos about it. So I think that's where we are. Yes, more webinars, absolutely. That's big tick box again. We'll issue, if you like, a timetable, and hopefully more people can contribute to them, have more interaction between so user questions and just me enjoying the sound of my own voice. Right, with Claire, version 8 to version 10. Yeah, you can jump between the two. Version 8, version 9 data schemas are similar. If there's a problem with that, then we can guide the customer through that. But as far as I'm aware, you can go from version 8 to version 10 as part of the update process. If that isn't possible, I apologize profusely, and we'll tell. In fact, Debbie's just told me in my secret bit of paper, yes, you can go from version 8 to version 10, so no problem. Jenny asked about the delete all hit list function. Yeah, I think, yeah, the delete all hit list, I think the fact it was on there in beta testing was probably because it had been, I can't explain, Jenny, why it was there, but certainly that only appears as part of the administrator function in the release version. If that was highlighted by you as part of the process, and it was actually a problem that's been fixed, but certainly the delete functions are only available if you're set as an administrator in the security module, absolutely. Otherwise, we'll have staff deleting millions of records, and there you go. 2014 is very soon. Showing that, Caroline. It's only Q4 2014 is 10 months away. There's a lot of work going on just now, and hopefully that will ripple out to the user community early in 2014. But obviously, you know, if that schedule changes as the product functional release becomes more defined, then customers will have a clear picture of that from Axiell. Anything else popping through? James, can we upgrade Calm View from version 1 straight to version 2.2? Now this is a, I think, hopefully Debbie's going to come over and give me an answer to this one. I think, unfortunately that's the two-letter word, which is no. Version 1, I think there were significant changes between version 1 and version 1.1. I think it was to do with where some of the configuration options were stored either within the application itself or stored and managed through the configurator. So it is not possible to go from version 1 to 2.2. It's a natural upgrade process. But the point is, if you go from version 1 to version 1.1, there is still that upgrade process. You have to go through a part manual process. So the answer is no, but you'd have it anyway if you move off version 1. But please talk to the help desk. We get more advice on what the process is. That's not a problem at all.
Yeah. Like I say, if I can jump in there, Malcolm. Yeah, the very early versions of Calm View were very difficult to upgrade to version 2. So it's a manually done process. It's not difficult. We can take people through it, but yeah, you can't just install straight over the top. Once you've done that migration, any further upgrades are completely compatible.
Okay. Thanks for that, Debs.
Okay.
You're welcome, James. Any other questions? Any other questions? And Jenny, speaking on behalf of Carol Sparkler, I think Carol's a big aficionado or big user of CalmView, would like to see as much as possible in CalmView. So yeah, hopefully the CalmView 2.2 is a good way forward for customers. Any other questions? Anything else people want to throw into the pot? And we've got still 9 minutes or so, although I'm almost spoken out. I think we'll probably do in the future webinars is we'll have more of our Axiell colleagues involved in it, including, for example, Debbie, who you've spoken to on the just now in CalmView, and Dave Earle, who many of you know on the Calm Support side, I think is may want to contribute to some of the future webinars as well, and might even drag the development guys in so they can tell you exactly what's happening with the new product. So yeah, it's a good way forward, and hopefully a much wider use of a webcast webinar facility going forward. Just hang on for a few seconds, give people a chance to type, or we come to a natural conclusion with the webinar. I should have said at the start that this is all recorded. Now, the good news is for you guys that it's just what you see on the screen and my voice that's recorded, so your comments and things are not part of that, nor is the webcam. So we've now got two versions of the session. I think they're pretty similar, but there's different questions coming up, so we'll probably make both of them available once Debbie's had a chance to just tidy them up and hopefully make my voice sound a bit better. But anyway, they'll be published and available for people to look at and have another listen to going forward. Okay. So if we've come to a natural conclusion, I would like to thank you all for taking part, and I really appreciate your time in this session. It's as I said, it's something we really want to try and push, the whole remote support talking aspect. And if Debbie managed to tidy up the presentation today, then we may well send it out. But we're relying on Debbie's editing skills to make these sound good. So hopefully yes, but certainly if not today, then by early next week. Excellent. So on that note, I'll say thank you again. I will drop the connection in a couple of seconds, and hopefully see you all in version 10 and contributing to webinars in the future. So with that word, I'll say thank you very much and goodbye.
The organizer has ended the